Hey boys and girls, welcome back. Redmissed in the house once again. How you doing? I hope everyone's going great. We are doing pretty well. We have managed to get back up in our trophies, 2505. We are 102 points shy of our big deck, or of our highest thing. Quick little rundown, guys. We've been mucking about with a little bit in the clan with James and stuff like that. So we've kind of been playing, but we've been mixing up the boards and stuff. We've been doing a few little challenges, and this is what I'm going to show you right now. So we are going to start off at the beginning. So let's start off at the beginning. We are doing the spells deck. Now, obviously, you guys know it's very rare that I use spells. I pretty much use the fireball and the zap. That's all I use. So obviously I'm well out of my element here. My cards aren't really leveled up, but we're going to go have some fun anyway. He's going to start off with a rocket. I thought I was going to be a little bit clever by bringing the poison and the mirror, because I was kind of hoping that maybe he, seeing as we were talking about goblin barrels, I was hoping he was going to bring the freeze and not the poison. But hey, it worked out in a different way. So obviously right here he's hit me with 2 rockets, which is a big problem because his rockets are slightly more leveled up. But we're waiting for that elixir because we are gonna go and hit the goblin barrel. Now we play 1, we play 2. He freezes too early, the second one gets in and does a little bit of damage, and he has to fireball as well. So that was quite nice, but unfortunately he fireballed us anyway. Now as you can see, guys, we are doing pure spells. We're going straight for the king tower, trying to win, seeing what happens and how things go down. Now obviously things are quite well tied up, but he's just beating us because that little bit extra damage off of his rockets that he's got going there. Now as you can see, look at this damage from the rocket. That's like 300 damage from his rocket, whereas I think mine only does like 250 or something. So he's getting like an extra 70 damage. But that's okay, we're going to go ahead and knock down another goblin barrel, but he goes and arrows it, so we can't really get any damage from them bad boys, unfortunately. But it's okay. I have a feeling he's kind of expecting the second barbarian hut, so we don't bother. We're going to wait for our elixir and use that rocket. But as I say, he's got 280. Oh, okay. So yeah, it does. Sorry, 2,800, not 280. It does a fair bit of damage, but still not as much as his does. So obviously a poison and a fireball, but we go ahead with a second rocket, and we're just kind of, to be honest, the game is a little bit one-sided, if I'm honest, because of the fact of, as I've said before, I do not use spells whatsoever. But there is a nice little tweak at the end which makes this a little bit interesting, guys. So here we go. Obviously we're getting very close to the end, so we go ahead and fire a rocket over. He hits us with a zap. He goes and hits us with another fireball. Now this is where it gets a little bit funny, boys and girls, because we go and hit a rocket down there, and instead of hitting our tower and finishing it off, he, to be honest, gets a little bit cocky. He goes and hits a double freeze over there. We go and play a poison spell. We go play a goblin barrel. He's too early on his arrows. The goblin barrel and the fireball finish us off the game. Now obviously he would have still won if he wasn't too quick with those arrows, because he would have taken the goblin barrel out, but he got a little bit too cocky with the freezes. He should have just finished it up, so we managed to get a lucky little win right there, even though our cards are a little bit low down. So once we done the all spells, we decided to go and do a 3 elixir or lower. Now, again, not really one of my specialties, but quite a few of my main deck cards are low elixirs. Now, obviously, as you guys know, I use the princess quite a lot in my deck. I use the knight a lot in my deck. I use the arrows. The goblins are quite... not the arrows, the archers. The zap is a common troop to my deck. The spear goblins, the normal minions. So a lot of these cards I know very well because I use them a lot. So obviously we have a huge advantage when it comes to this, because obviously our princess, I'm not gonna lie, but he does have those 3 elixir guards in there, which I completely forgot about actually. Otherwise I would have brought them. But once again, we're going to start very slowly at the back with our princess, because we know we can handle the spam pretty well. He's going to play his knights, he's going to play those fire spirits. We're going to go arrow the whole lot. Princess is going to lay down cover from a far side, but for some reason she hesitates a couple of times. Now we're going to build up a push that you guys have seen me do in tons of videos. The knight, the archers, the princess, and then we go and play the zap, which we get a lot of damage on the tower very quickly, spam some cards down, protecting that princess, and boom, he finally plays those fire spirits, which does some AoE damage and takes her out. But just to be a little bit of a troll, we go and chuck down the princess once again and get a further 2 hits off on that tower, just like that, baby boy. So obviously going straight back in with our our knight. Gonna zap those archers just to get them out of the way. Now also guys, we do have a fair bit of an advantage here, because of obviously these are cards that I quite often run in some of my main decks. They are slightly more leveled up, like a couple of them, like such as my archers. I think my archers are actually level 8, his are only level 7. Now we go and play an arrows at the clutch moment right there. He plays everything. We take that tower out with 1 archer over on the right hand side, but that arrow couldn't have been timed any better. Now, to be honest, here we get a bit cocky, because I'm kind of thinking, well, this is fine, I've got this in the bag. And then I remembered he had rage, so I was like, oh crap, quick, put stuff down, because I remembered he had that rage. And we managed to just pull back that tower at 264 HP. Obviously the princess is going to lay down some good cover again. We go in arrows, but we didn't need to, because the princess was there all day long. Second princess down just to clear up the crew, and there we have it, another nice little win right there. But as I say, a little bit of advantage on my side, because them particular cards I use quite a lot. As you know from my decks, obviously you can see right there, you know, straight away there's 4 of those cards in my team straight up, and this right here is actually the deck that I've been using, guys. This is the deck that has actually got me back up to the 2505 trophies, and this is also the deck that got me my highest trophy count, which is 2607, which is right here. Obviously it is so amazing, it's got so many counters, it's got such a good push to it, it's crazy. But we're getting sidetracked a little bit there, guys. So once we done that one, we went ahead and done this one. Now this one here is, again, this is quite a good battle. This is a pure epic battle, all epics. Now one of my favourite cards, the balloon, and I forgot it, guys. Now obviously he comes straight in with a goblin barrel, which is great. He put that freeze down too early, and my minion, my skeleton army goes down. Happy days. Put the the witch down, freeze his tower and his thingy, and get some heavy damage in there. And I kind of thought, well, it's over, no problem. But then I thought, well, there's quite a lot of damage there that he's got to deal with, so let's put down the rage. The rage goes in, and we take quite a bit of damage out. Now this is obviously where things go sour, because I completely forgot about the balloon. And as soon as he played it, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I left the balloon out. One of my favourite cards. Now, again, because of the fact that I saw his Dark Knight, I was kind of a bit rushed, and I played my guards. Whereas if I just lightninged, I would have taken out a lot, waited out a couple more seconds, got the elixir, played the lightning, I probably wouldn't have suffered that damage from the tower. So obviously we have a big guy coming in right now. We play our own big guy as counter, and now we actually messed up here, because I saw the blue and it clicked in my head lightning, and when I played it, it was a freeze. So kind of messed up slightly there because I was kind of thinking that that was going to be lightning, but it turned out to be a freeze. But hey, it happens. So obviously right now we got to take out that right there. Now I was going to actually go and mirror my skeletons right here, but I kind of thought that the tower is just going to keep on shooting them. It's going to be worthless. So I wait a little while, let the guards come away, and then I go and put the skeletons down, and then I rage it. By doing that, they actually take out his guards and his thing, charge off into the tower. We have to freeze this balloon, and then the witch walks away. Now, I play the most stupid call here because I go and put the knights down. I don't know why I didn't just put down my giant skeleton. I really don't, but I didn't, and yeah. So maybe if I put down the giant skeleton, even though he played his own, I think possibly the bomb damage might have been able to do stuff. Now, I just put a last desperate attempt down of the giant skeleton with a rage, try and get down to that tower and do a little bit of damage, but obviously he had that balloon coming in, so we didn't have any hope anyway. So we go in lightning, and when we lightning, we completely miss everything but one goblin. So yeah, we made quite a few mistakes in that battle, but we probably would have lost that anyway, guys, because of that balloon that we completely forgot to put in like an absolute noob. But then we decide to go in and play another game. Now we decide to play an all common deck. So guys, once again, all commons, these are my cards. I run a lot of common cards. They are so good. They are so overpowered. And me being me and just being dumb, I completely forgot that barbarians are a common card. I was thinking they were rare for some reason. So obviously we've lost one of the best counters for for the Royal Giant. So as soon as that happened, I just put good game, put some lost, because I was pretty sure I had lost this game once I saw that Royal Giant. But as you can see, a very valuable arrows right there, taking out spear goblins, archers, and all that good stuff. So we do have the Tesla to counter the Royal Giant, which I was kind of thinking he may have played. I was hoping that he didn't have the arrows, but the likelihood that he did was very high. So I don't really know why I kind of tried the minions right there. But as you can see, the Tesla goes down to do a little bit of damage to the Royal Giant, and it is a very good counter, guys. If it's leveled up, it can do a lot of damage to a Royal Giant. So can the cannon. So, you know, obviously we were going to arrow because I was kind of thinking he was going to put some splash damage, but he didn't opt for that. But we're going to go ahead and put down our minions. We're going to zap, and we're going to take out barbarians and goblins, and we're going to take out his spear goblins. And now we're going to get into the tower with our archers. Excuse me, get a couple of hits in on that tower. So we were going to arrow. I don't know why we were going to arrow two archers with arrows, but hey, so we try and do a little bit of a technique that you guys have seen me do a ton of times with the Valkyrie, which is obviously the Valkyrie with the goblins behind, push her forward and get her to the tower. So we tried the same thing with the knight, and it worked, but obviously he's just not as good a counter, not as good a card as the Valkyrie is. So once again, he's coming in with his barbarians. We're going to go ahead and put down our 3 elixir minions. We're going to zap it. They're going to get wrecked by our 3 elixir minions. We're going to go ahead, put down our minion horde, and take out his cards way before he even thought about playing his arrows. So once again, the knight goes in, the minions go in, but this time we play our arrows in hope that he was going to play those minions, and he didn't let us down. He put them down, and we got them straight away virtually. Took out some heavy damage. We've got a nice little push going once again. We were going to think about arrowing, but we left them. Do we arrow here? Yep, we arrowed there in the end. I think it was just because he was getting a little bit close to our tower. So we know he's got that Royal Giant, and luckily he actually plays it on the opposite side to the tower. So it's a little bit good for us that he done that, because obviously now we can put down a very heavy defense on the right hand side, and we can also go and put a sneaky quick attack in on the right hand side in just a second. So obviously there's the two pushes. We're going to go ahead and send in our arrow. Do we... what? Why am I waiting? I know what's happening. But okay, in the end we don't ever end up playing arrows. I was pretty sure I played the arrows, but we didn't. But we managed to get into that tower and take it out anyway. So that's pretty cool. Hats off to James. He done some really good battles there. But as it happened, in the end, we just had a little bit of an advantage, because they were some of the cards that I use in my standard decks. So looking at these cards here, this is obviously the ones that we ran before. Other than the Tesla and the arrows, we run all of them in my deck as standard, but both the Tesla and the arrows do come into the deck sometimes. That's why they're leveled up to level 7. The only one that I did forget, like, to be honest, instead of the Tesla, I probably would have brought the Barbarians if I thought about it, but for some reason I was thinking they were a rare. But once again, as you guys have seen, you have actually seen a video on this deck before. The only difference in this deck is the fact of, instead of those arrows, I used the fireball. But that is the deck that I used to use way back in the day. So there is actually a video of me doing this deck. Then I changed. Then as I got a little bit higher up, I think it was once I got into Arena 5, I actually changed out the Knight and I put in the Valkyrie. And I played it like that. Then as time went on, I actually changed out that card right there and I brought back the Knight. And this right here is one of the most common decks that I use in the game. Now, obviously, we're in the very top stage of the game, or not the very top stage of the game, but near the top stage of the game. The Princess comes in instead of, say, the Spear Goblins or the Minions, depending on how I'm feeling, how much air damage I need. But again, very recently, you have seen this deck right here, which again is a very common deck that I use. It's only 3.4 elixir, so good to use, counters so much, it's unreal. So, as I say guys, between this deck right here and this deck right here, these are the two that have basically got me to the very top of where I'm fighting, and there's really not any difference between it. Obviously, in one deck we've got the Zap, the Fireball, the Princess, the Barbarians, the Minions, the Archers, and the Valkyrie. We've got exactly the same in the other deck. The only difference is the Knight. And it seems like one little teeny difference, but it really does make a lot of difference. If you're fighting a lot of people that are using the double Prince P.E.K.K.A push, this is the deck you want to use, because obviously the Valkyrie can tank the P.E.K.K.A, the Knight can tank the P.E.K.K.A. They're going to die, but the P.E.K.K.A's got to hit them a couple of times. In the meantime, a lot of other troops can get in, do a lot of damage. The tower can do a lot of damage. All that good stuff. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I really hope that you've enjoyed. Let's go ahead and open up this right here and this one right here. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share button for me, and I shall see you in the next video. Peace on the streets.